clerk's office. Not specific. I'm not being specific for a reason. So. All right. That'll work. Cool. This is for the Australian
Clerk's
government.
office.
Oh, sorry. It was
Clerk's
just
office.
on Google.
Not
Like I said,
I'm
we
not being
don't
specific
have
for a reason.
an official form because most people just submit them via email, and I don't know that I've ever been asked, but so if you just send an email and state the requirements of a FOIA request, and that's how they usually come to me.
And I when I personally send my FOIA request, I do use email. But what I'm checking for is whether, let's say, somebody that came in here that's 80 years old doesn't have a clue how to use email, doesn't have internet access.
We would be 100% very helpful to those people.
Awesome. That's one of the main things I look for. Is I'm big on access to public records. And if you were to tell my 75-year-old dad to go on and get a hello.
This is a journalist who's claiming that he has a right to videotape me, and you're on camera now too.
Okay.
He did not share with me that I was being recorded when he first came in. I asked, and he says he has a legal right to do that. So I just wanted your opinion.
I think you have to give notice of that you're going to be video recording, especially in a public government facility.
Yo, you see how he paused? He realized that's the point where he realized he does not need permission. He just said a public, which is, I can record you without consent. Then he says government. Oh, I could definitely record you without consent because the government is for the people. It's not private. It's public. So when you say government, you're almost always saying public when you say government. Not all the time. It's not always. That's not always true. But when you say D said you caught it. Once you say public, and I think he caught it. Once you say public, but D said, I got to be fair. I'm unbiased. I got to be unbiased. That's not always true. The exception. But majority of the time, when you say government, is normally public. And that's why I like what these guys do, Decent, because they're educating Decent. Listen, the way the Jim Crow, that's why I love what they're doing, because they are preventing another Jim Crow or potential Jim Crow. Because Jim Crow, Decent, was private citizens posting signs. Nothing was constitutional. These are unlawful signs that says blacks, whites only, and black colored people, right? Those signs were unconstitutional, but they went unchallenged for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. So in the minds of the American public, in between 1930 to the 1960s, they really believed that these signs were constitutional because nobody ever challenged them. So today, our rights, the right to bear arms, the right, this and that, whatever it is, the Fifth Amendment, some cops really believe, Decent, that you gotta answer their questions. You're like, so the Fifth Amendment don't protect me from self-incrimination? Like, what you mean I gotta answer your question? What the fuck wrong with that? What's wrong with you? Why would I incriminate myself? That's just, what? So even though we move past, for the most part, we move past open segregation, right? There's no open signs where blacks can't participate or can't eat at, or can't drink at, or can't be around. Like, there's no open signs like that around that we know of. I'm sure small towns probably got some shit like that. But for the most part, those signs went unchallenged. So in the people's mind who seen those signs Decent when they was 5 years old, 10 years old, 15, 20, now 30, they believe that shit law. That's all I ever known was these colored folks only, white folks only. So can you imagine a First Amendment auditor coming up saying, hey, I'm, or let's say a black, I guess you would have to be black. Let's say a black First Amendment auditor drinking from the water fountain. You think they're gonna lock his ass up, they're gonna torment him. Everything you're seeing now. So what I'm saying is that it's not that white people are inherently evil. None of that shit. Is that a lot of their bullshit does not go it does not go unchallenged. It goes unchallenged, my fault. A lot of their bullshit goes unchallenged. Nobody challenged it. Because you can see black folks, black cops, black government workers also think you can't record. So that black cop, that black worker, that's government worker, they are really acting the ways of the white folks during 1930s to 1960s. Or I should say 1900s to 1960s. Like they really believe that shit law because there's a written fucking sign in their building. It's like, yo, that's not how laws get passed. So Descent, the American public, like niggas talking about, yo, we need our own school for history. No, fuck history. History is why we all beefing right now. Fuck history. We'll never agree on history. When I say we, American in general and black people, we'll never agree. Niggas think they're Egyptians, they think they're the true Hebrews, they think they're Muslim, they from Morocco. We'll never agree on history. Fuck history. There's more important stuff to learn than history, that to get black people out of their poor, wretched condition. And the first thing is money. Because we keep reading, we keep hearing how the Jews weren't rich, all their white Jews. I'm talking about white Ashkenazi Jews. They were not always rich and successful. They tell you that they were commissioned to handle the money, right? Because the Catholic Church on certain days, they felt like, Jesus turned over certain tables for the money exchangers. So the Catholic Church felt like handling money was evil for the most part. So they commissioned the Jews to do it. They oppressed the Jews and forced them to do it, to handle the money. They forced Jewish people to become bankers. We got to start talking about real fucking history here. Stop pussyfooting. So they were forced to be bankers, just like how black folks were forced to be laborers, forced to be sharecroppers, they forced skills on black folks. Yo, if black folks would have never, when black folks were free from slavery, if ex-slaves were never Jim Crow, never segregated, they would have been more powerful. We would have been more powerful than Jewish people today. Because we left slavery with a fucking skill that's unmatched. The average white American cannot fuck with us with that skill. When Jewish people left their oppression and they migrated to other countries, they had a skill that no other people had, which was fucking banking. Like these Jewish people were economists, experts, you dig? In their oppression, they became economists, experts. When black people were free from slavery, we became so Jews were good with money and we were good with our fucking hands. The difference is the Jewish people from the Holocaust, they never was de-skilled. So Dr. Claude Anderson talks about how black people were de-skilled after slavery. You dig? So that's why, I always knew this shit in my mind. It's just like the conscious community is too fucking immature for this conversation. So I don't even talk about it. I talk about it in my inner circles, my real, inner circles, but I don't talk about this shit openly because niggas are too immature. And nigga women are too immature. Okay. So when laws go unchallenged, the public perceive them to be law themselves. Not laws, I'm sorry. When signs go unchallenged, people perceive them shits to be laws. Like I said, I can show you black cops and white and black employees of the government who believes that these signs they written is fucking law. So what I was saying was this, to bring it all the way back. Like black people, no, American public, fuck history. We need to learn how laws are made, how they come together. I showed that in my American government. If you go back and check my videos, I'll do another one. I show you how the video's called The Beginnings of the American Government, some shit like that, which I got a good memory of, right? Anybody can fucking fuck with me. We go over this shit off top. Niggas can't fuck with me on this shit. So anyway, in that, it tells you how laws are made. Okay. So you just can't write a fucking sign and that shit is law. It's a long process. for a law to be made law. Okay, so these motor vehicles, these government facilities, these police stations, they're just writing on piece of paper, hey, no cameras, hey, no cell phones. They're just making shit up on the fly. That's not lawful. And it can never be lawful because that's against your constitutional rights. It's a contradiction to make it lawful. And sometimes you have mayors even involved on unlawful activities. Okay, everybody make a plan based off the ignorance of the American public. Okay, that's how everybody fucking playing. So stop fucking with Puffy. Stop fucking with Don King. There's white producers and white promoters who are worse than Don King, like Bob Arum, by the way, can ever be. Black people learn from white people. Where the fuck we get this game inherently? We learn from white folks. Okay? So if you think Puffy bad, well, guess what? Every fucking white producer is worse than Puffy. If you think Don King bad, go ahead and fuck with Bob Arum or Oscar De La Hoya. You dig? Or Eddie Hearns. These motherfuckers 10 times worse than any black person. Like, stop it. Fuck around y'all stupid niggas. So we need to, the American public, I'm talking about just black folks, we need to learn how laws are created. Then when that becomes common knowledge, then when your director posts a fucking sign, you know that shit is unconstitutional. And let's go back to banking. So now we see how Jews become bankers. They were forced to be bankers, right? As I fucking just clearly explained that. So black people, why we just can't be like niggas want to be Egypt, fucking Jewish, all this stupid shit. Why not learn fucking money? So it's one thing Polite advocates for, even though he's the fucking scammer, but he's right. He's right putting you in the direction of money. I didn't care about credit at all until I watched Garfield's episodes on Sonetta. So I got to thank Garfield to even be credit aware. I was not credit aware. I didn't give a fuck. My credit's like 540, some bullshit. Before I'm hearing Garfield. So Garfield, because of his videos, only Garfield made me credit aware. So forget about the little arguments in between with me and Garfield. He is the reason why I'm even credit aware today. So when people direct you towards the money, you should be thankful because that's how Jewish people are owning everything. It ain't spooky. This is what they left those countries with, a skill to bank, to invest. They are good at investing and they could teach motherfuckers how to invest. That's why you own everything. And I'm trying to tell you, black folks be 40 times better than Jewish people if we were never de-skilled. If we were never, and when I say de-skilled, I mean literally, when we left the plantation and things like that, white folks in the South left us, they didn't employ us. What land do we own to like share crop and sell, fucking produce? Nothing. Or little to nothing. We were steadily being terrorized by the KKK and other white fucking fake KKK members. That's what we were terrorized by. So you talk about sharecropping, niggas just want to live another day. Fuck sharecropping, we couldn't vote, nothing. And we were in Congress. The what's that called? The Reconstruction period. We were in Congress. We was in a lot of shit, mayors, sheriffs, governors, all that shit. But when those Union soldiers pulled out, when the protection left, the South said, shit, nigga, give me all that shit. And that's the nasty history that we need to bring to the American public. Like, yo, when the Union left the South, because I think 70% to 80% black folks were in the South. That's like damn near all black folks were in the South. When the Union soldiers left, we had although slavery was, banned, criminalized, we had no protection versus a whole fucking army. The South was an army that fought against the North. So once the Union soldiers left, the protection left, and now the South like, man, I don't give a fuck what they talking, nigga. Y'all ain't got no rights. Okay, so what the union workers should have done is what they're doing for immigrants today, i.e., Hispanics. They're protecting them all the way through. Black folks, they didn't do that. They didn't protect us all the way through. These piece of shit white people at that time should have got us a place up north. Kind of like what Elijah Muhammad was saying. You dig? Give us a place up north. Clear some space. Save us from these fucking crazy caveman thinking ass white folks. The North did us dirty. They left the South like, shit, nigga, y'all back in slavery. Fuck y'all talking. Y'all ain't free. You dig? That's what happened. And but this information, like niggas don't talk about. Niggas too busy talking about Egypt and Hebrews and Morocco and all Aboriginal stupid shit like that, man. This should be common knowledge amongst us. Okay, so let me read some comments. You said what is sharecropping? I don't have the actual definition, but I'm assuming we all know black people pick cotton, and we also was in the field growing shit for white folks, right? That's what I mean by sharecropping. I don't. What's the actual definition? I said, no, don't get me lying. Here, you dig? I'm a Google ass nigga. I could be saying the wrong word, but I think I get what I'm saying though. I'm saying white folks put us to work. And because of that, we gained the skill that normal white folks didn't have. Okay, so it says a system where the landlord planner allows a tenant to use the land in exchange. Yeah, I don't think we were that. I don't think we were that. But my point is that we had skills on the like growing produce and picking shit. Here, what are you crying for? Let me give him a bottle. Hold on, let me give this guy a bottle. Crying for no reason. He don't want to eat. Hang on. All right, got on some milk, but ain't a lot of milk. I gotta get on some more milk. So it was much worse than that. Yeah, exactly. That definition ain't what I wanted to say. So I might be saying the wrong word. Thank you for pointing that out, Controy. Yeah. Press diapers. I just bought some wipes today. Hey, yo, I got a funny ass video. Yo, I got to show y'all. I was in the gym today, and I had just playing half court basketball. So I had my son on the other court, like the other half of the court. So I was like, just making a little video. Say, hey man, he's open. Give him the ball. He's open. Yo, what's the chances of the ball roll fast as shit towards him, and then knocks him on the ground? after I'm sitting there saying, yeah, he's open. Give him the ball. He's open. That ball flew right to him, bro. That was, yo, that might be a TikTok viral video. Yo. I'm trying to tell you. I'm going to get a TikTok account. So let me see. Sharecropping is when a white farm owner lets a black family grow food on their land, a small share. Yeah, I did. And the place, yeah, that's not, yeah, he said, that's not what I mean. When I say sharecropping, now I used the wrong word. So he was locked out of skill market. Yeah, exactly, B-Money. Exactly. They had de-skilled us. So the Jewish people were never de-skilled. So when they was forced to become bankers, they kept that skill. You know, because America saved them and placed them in a land of their own. You dig? But so they kept the skill. We, America saves them, but we in the country, that's some shit right there. So you save them, they have nothing to do with America, and they get saved. Cool. But what about us? We in America. How the fuck you say that was 1940, what, 8, 46? Nigga, Jim Crow is alive and well. How you, but that just lets you know. So look, we can't, there's no need to like go on racist rants. There's no need to be bigotry. There's no need to be homophobic. Yo, we know what it is. Like white people gonna look out for the best interest of white people first. Okay, we know what it is. So there's no need to like to go on some fucking conspiracy rant about that. Okay, we know what it is. They're gonna look out for each other faster than looking out for black people. Okay, so now we got that in our head. When we move, we should just keep considering that. That should be the message. But now we go into fucking Area 52 type shit, and that's how we get caught up, man. We get caught up. Peace, following Truth, LJ. So I'm gonna play a little bit. So now, yeah, I'm a big proponent in protecting the American, all Americans, not just black folks, all Americans, civil rights and constitutional rights. I'm a big proponent of it. Because black folks know firsthand, when you don't protect the civil rights, you have signs like colored folks only. So this is the state's attorney. Now, they don't know everything, but they know enough. So let's see what happens here.
I don't think you can just walk in and tape without notifying somebody.
Okay. Could you find that written down somewhere for me? Because I find that hard to believe.
If you could show me the statutory authority that you're able to do this,
Yes.
I'll let you do it.
It's right in Washington, D.C., so First
Okay,
Amendment right to free press.
If you can write down where it is, I'll be happy.
I just told you. It's at the National.
He's saying write it down. Dude, it's your First Amendment right, fool. So the First Amendment, unbeknownst to people think of freedom of religion and freedom of speech. They forget there's one more. It's the freedom of press.
National Archives is the United States Constitution, First Amendment right to free press.
Okay.
I am a journalist engaged in constitutionally protected activity.
Okay.
This is.
And I got some Hebrew stuff, by the way. These guys are cowards. Okay, the One West Doctrine. I've been commenting in their Facebook groups. I've been commenting on all their videos. These are a bunch of cowards who just want to yell on a microphone and speaker or have their own personal private YouTube video with debating themselves. There's no opponent there. But these are cowards, man. None of them really want to engage in a conversation with me regarding a virgin birth. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause on that, and I'm gonna go into the next thing they teach. They teach that they are the Israelites, them the Hispanics, and that white folks are doomed to hell. Somehow they believe that shit. So they believe white folks don't have salvation, or they don't believe white folks have the same inheritance that the Jewish people have in the New Testament. So this is gonna be funny because I read and comprehend basic English pretty well. And the Bible is written in basic English, especially the newer translation. It clearly said all people, but somehow they're gonna make all people only blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, no problem. So I'm gonna go there because virgin birth is not a lot of their strong points, but they're more stronger in the Esau doctrine, the hate white man doctrine. So they feel more secure there. So, okay, forget it. I'm gonna go there, right? So my next couple videos with them involved is gonna be that. So let's see the state's attorney. The state's attorney.
Publicly accessible place. I can video record anything that I can see, and mind you.
Yeah, I didn't hear Jabari debate with Garfield. Did they debate? I'm not even sure. But Jabari, people understand debating is not about being the more factual person. It's not about being the most truthful person. It's the person who's more compelling, who has a sound argument, who can rebut. And Jabari is, in this space, okay, he nobody really can touch the Jabari in the space that he's in. So Garfield might bring out certain facts, but if you can't make your facts stick in the heads of the audience, you're gonna lose. And I think Jabari does a better job of making his facts stick in the heads of the audience. Okay, the 24th, I'll check it out. If I remember, I even paid for it.
I didn't bother really zooming in much,
Okay.
but if I can see it, I know for a fact that I can audio and video record
I'm only gonna be on for 30 more minutes. I'm gonna attempt to play basketball, and I'll be back probably like 9 o'clock.
in a public space. Now, before you jump the gun, I have actually been charged with felony eavesdropping before, and I'm pretty much an expert on that statute.
Okay.
If you, just in the first sentence, I can destroy the Illinois eavesdropping statute. The Illinois eavesdropping statute states that surreptitious recording is against the law in Illinois. And quite honestly, I almost got it struck down 3 years ago on a statewide constitutional basis. So, yeah, feel free to check it out.
Sure.
The
So you're
eavesdropping
claiming
statute is
that-
one of the worst laws in the state of Illinois, without a doubt.
Sure. It's actually been held to be constitutional in Illinois.
Uh,
They
I'm gonna show you a dialogue with Tariq Nasheed and a brother from the Caribbean who like really just wore Tariq Nasheed out. I mean, it's just embarrassing. It was kind of long, but it's embarrassing for somebody to be that stupid politically, but want to debate on politics.
tried to overturn it, and recently, I think it was
Esau's the rightful holder of the blessing of Jacob. Jacob stole it. That's funny. Jabari seems reasonable from the little I've seen. Yeah, Jabari, I don't believe he's always the most truthful when he talks about the Bible or Egypt. I don't believe his information is totally accurate. But again, that don't mean anything in a debate. It's about being persuasive, better argument, more compelling, and more likable.
2014, 2015. The Illinois Supreme Court said no, it's
yeah,
constitutional.
and
law.
then they made the new one, and the new one's even worse than the old one.
Okay.
And the new one is the one that almost got thrown out.
What is it that you are wanting to do here today?
I wanted to video record public officials in the course of their duties and request a Freedom of Information request form to see how you guys respond to a journalist asking for public record.
Okay. You won't be able to video record anything that's private information. You can't zoom in on any of that information. So you're FOIAing records, and you want to see how that occurs.
Yep, how that
Okay.
process works. Just to clarify and correct you a bit, I can actually video record private information. It's what I do with that information thereafter where it may or may not become illegal. I video record private information all the time. I go back, edit, throw it out, delete it. Now, if I were to go out and video record, say, like her driver's license number and her social security number, that's actually illegal for me to do. If you were foolish enough to leave it out in public view, that's actually illegal for me to record. Now, if I went out and then published it, you could sue me to Kingdom Come, and you.
But he's not educating this state attorney. He just pretty much reminded him, because don't forget, this state attorney went to school for like 10 years, so he knows what he knows, but he doesn't remember everything. Okay, he knows what he knows, but he doesn't remember everything. And the dude is just reminding him of what's legal and what's not legal. So he's not schooling him, he's not teaching him. Let's not get too crazy. He doesn't know more than him. He's just reminding him because this is the journalist area, right? The state attorney knows more relevant stuff. Like this type of ordeal he don't deal with. So this is not something he's gonna keep researching and keep into memory. Okay.
You should. Now, I'm very, very careful about when I go to edit. I have a 50-inch.
And Jacob Line was definitely usurped by the Holy Spirit, right? Because the New Testament don't care about lineage and genealogy, and it actually says it. So, like, these Black Israelites are jokes.
Monitor. Most people use cell phones, but I have a 50-inch monitor, and I will go zoom in as much as I can with my high definition video to see what's actually in there.
What are you FOIAing today? What are you wishing to FOIA today?
The employee records, employment records. So
Of-
length of service.
Which employee?
All of them.
Okay. That is very voluminous. So we have 5 days to respond to your
Absolutely.
FOIA request. I'm certain that we would have to file an extension for that because there are many employees here in Cass County.
Okay. You don't have them like already in a PDF file somewhere?
No,
I certainly don't. I don't know if who would even keep those type of records. I have my employees; they're not in a PDF form, but I have. And what kind of records are you looking for? Their
salary.
Okay.
Exactly, decent, and that's you know, that's a fact. So all I can say is, without saying too much, that's a fact.
Insurance benefits, length of
Okay.
service, job title. Excuse me.
Yeah, so LJ, you might want to look up Romans 11 because they're gonna run there. So just let you know in advance. They're gonna run to Romans 11 and somehow spin it. So sharpen up on Romans 11. They tried that with me on the live. It didn't work out too well for them because they jumped to a further scripture. And all I did was read from verse 1 all the way up to that scripture, and it didn't make any sense. Their argument didn't make any sense. So, but they run to Romans 11. That's one of their. They go to Hebrews 2 and 16. They don't read Hebrews 2 and 9. They don't read Hebrews 2 and 9. They read Hebrews 2 and 16, and they read Romans 11 and something later on in the chapter. But they're not going to read what leads up to that.
There's one other item. There's one other detail.
He originally asked for a FOIA request form. Well,
Okay.
All of our FOIAs always come via email, and everybody has their own request form that they submit. Sometimes it's just in print in the email. It's not an official form. I don't have an official form. Travis is the FOIA officer. However, whatever information is being requested, each officer provides that information. If it's information that is available from their own
Yeah.
office.
I want to say there's probably a FOIA request form online somewhere.
Well, I just pulled one up off of Google, but he knows it says
Now
Australian
you'll be
government.
Oh, that's no, we don't want that. I think
Anyway.
Illinois has
Yes, I'm sure they do. And we would be happy to provide whatever information that you are requesting, as long as it comes through as a FOIA request and we're allotted the amount of
And
time.
one of the things, and you'd left that part out, it's no biggie, I'll tell him. I'm well aware that the Illinois FOIA, the whole 27 pages, there's not a requirement to have a physical paper form, but the majority of the counties that I go to do have one because of people that either don't have internet access or don't understand FOIA.
That's another thing that I will contest. This whole you are what your father are. Well, you are what your father is. I will contest that. I don't see a Jewish law that says that in the Bible. So that's nothing they make up. The genealogy in the Bible is recorded from men. But if you want to, but these same Hebrew Israelites would go to history. Okay, let's go. It's science. Okay, let's go to history and science. Dude, if you want to track my genealogy, you're gonna go through their mother. You're not gonna go through their father because mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Okay, there's no doubt when you go through the mama who his mama is. The daddy, that's subjective unless you got DNA.
They need a template to write on because
Sure.
most people are clueless about government. I'm acutely aware of that.
Well, and
I
we would
spent
need
10 years
something-
teaching tax law across the U.S., so
We would need. You mean you don't have to write it on a form? You can orally FOIA something.
no, that
He's saying if an 80-year-old person came in here, they would not know how to
Oh, I
request a FOIA, make a
Certainly.
Yeah,
FOIA
'cause
request. So if I had a form for them to fill in, that would help them.
Certainly.
And I mean, obviously, we'd be willing to bring some.
And another
people.
advantage of having that form is it stops unnecessary denials coming out because those denials can then turn into a lawsuit.
Sure.
And not to mention it's a pain in the butt to deal with having to wait for information that should be publicly available. You guys may be right in your denial, you may be wrong. It may have been the requester's fault that they worded it improperly, or like you said, voluminous. Or I always screw that word
Voluminous.
up. Voluminous. There we go. Voluminous. Yeah, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts in those,
Sure.
and having that template there kind of removes a lot of problems with that. And you can put little notes in that template to help people along.
Do you have a template that you've used before?
If I were at my office, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a ton of them.
Okay.
I would say the best city I've encountered on this one yet was Vandalia, Illinois. That mayor
Okay.
was the president of the Illinois Municipal League for, I think, 2 terms. He's been a mayor for 22 years. Best elected official I've encountered yet so far. But if you,
No, it's not confusing. The city, The seed, the word seed, the King James Bible says seed. Really? The King James Bible says seed. Every other version says offspring, lineage, or child. We're not talking about sperm when it says seed, but Captain Tazariak and other dumb Hebrew Israelites will make you believe this is talking about sperm. And if, again, just invite them on the show, and I will clearly prove it's not talking about sperm. Seed doesn't mean sperm in the Bible. It means like an actual seed from a plant or a child or lineage of somebody. You know what I mean? That's it. So that's a whole lie right there in itself.
If you call down to
It needs to be challenged.
Vandalia, Illinois, and ask them, that guy, ask for the mayor. He's a part-time mayor, by the way, and he is extremely helpful. He would be more than happy to
Share that template.
yeah, and he's got the track record to back up, and I'll let you know I test.
Yeah, because if seed means sperm, then they got to explain how a woman has seed, right? Because the Bible clearly says woman has seed. So they just in all worlds of trouble if they go that route. Okay, let's go that route. Let's say seed means sperm. All right, you're in trouble there too. So we try to help them out and save them from their stupidity. But we want to say seed means sperm. Okay, so women got sperm. So that's also like.
He's no joke. I've been doing this for 3 years. I've encountered, I think I'm into the thousands of public officials, and he's the best one I've encountered so far. But yeah, I really like the mayor of Vandalia. He's awesome. I wished he'd put in another 20 years, but he looks like he's about ready to call it quits. So
Yeah, I'll certainly call down there.
Yeah, grain,
that
right? See the
template.
grain what they talk
Is
about.
that
Remember,
something? How
if
can
you guys will ever familiar with the Christian doctrine, you know that Jesus spoke of the mustard seed. So like I could play around with these clowns and say, okay, seed means sperm. Okay, then I'll just read the mustard seed parable. Like, yo, it's talking about sperm here. It's just goofy, but I can go that route with a clown because clowns need to be treated like clowns. Or I can just easily just prove it's not talking about sperm. Either way I could do. I could play around with a clown. I could be serious and just show how it doesn't mean sperm.
we?
Yeah, listen, I don't. If somebody want to be spiritual, if somebody want to be religious, go for it. You dig? That won't bother me at all. But what bothers me, if your doctrine is in plain English and it says what it says, why are you doing differently and acting like it says this now? And that's what the One West Hebrews do. They'll read the Bible in plain English and they'll act like it's not saying in plain English what it's saying. Okay, these are people with agendas.
Obviously won't be able to do that. Maybe this afternoon, but how can we assist you right now without that template before we get there?
you could take it verbally. I can write it down via sloppy handwriting.
If you
I've been
could-
typing for 20 years. That's
If you
why.
could write it down,
Okay.
and then we will do probably we will do our best into getting you the.
This is the first time I ever seen they bring down a state attorney. They always call the cops. So this is the first time I ever seen this happen that I can recall, that they actually spoke to a state attorney. I mean, it's possible a magazine or somebody else spoke to one, but or audit the auditor, all those different channels. Bay Area, I can't recall ever seeing a state attorney being brought down before a police officer. So I commend the lady in the back because she could have panicked and called the cops. So you could tell she's bright and she's bright because she thought, okay, you're talking law, legal stuff. Okay, well, let's bring down our law guy. Somebody who's not that bright would just call the cops. So I commend her on calling somebody down to talk legalities with a person who's speaking about legalities. So I respect that. Like, she ain't freak out.
FOIA request that you're asking for today.
Definitely mad.
But I will certainly call down to the mayor of Vandalia.
Because nobody want to be recorded. Like, I mean, can you imagine like you just had a rough day and somebody put a camera on you? Of course you're gonna be upset. And especially you don't know the law. that if you're in public, there's no expectancy of privacy. So of course, if you don't know the law and you just had a bad day, somebody put a camera in your face, you're gonna be pissed off. They get it, but it's a learning lesson.
And believe me, he remembers me big time. And the reason being is I walked 3 blocks away from his city hall and I found the worst county government in the state of Illinois so far, and they have 300,000 views on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I got called a terrorist walking in the front door with a camera, and then they lied to me about a judge's order that doesn't exist. I knew it didn't exist when I walked in there, and they made a couple other statements that earned them some hate. Calling somebody a terrorist that's engaged in constitutionally protected activity. Imagine if some guy was standing out on the street calling you a terrorist when you went to church or you went to vote. That's the same thing. So,
Okay, when you went to the Columbus or somebody.
And he's still the part-time mayor? So
yep, he's still the part-time mayor, and he's sharp, he's got a good brain on him, and he's honestly the only guy that I would recommend that you call, because we talked for probably 45 minutes off camera, and I'll let you know he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
He's quite astute on what is and is not legal.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about some past incidences I had, and I was like, man, I wish you were the mayor of my town, because I'm telling you, they goofed up. I do file lawsuits if I catch something.
Yeah.
If I catch something serious enough. I just settled a lawsuit with the chairman of the Illinois Supreme Court Rules Committee 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I caught him violating Open Meetings Act in my hometown. He even told me I couldn't video record him on county property as he's breaking the law.
Yeah.
And I ended up filing suit against him, and I won.
Where do you call home? Where's hometown?
I don't normally share that, but since I've told you enough already,
Metro, somewhere.
Quincy, Illinois.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. Not too far away from you guys.
Yeah.
So, anyway, my name's Kent.
I was going to ask you if I could shake your hand before
Yep,
you leave. Yeah,
that's
I'm going
fine.
to contact that Mayor Vandalia because I think that'll get us into compliance and a useful resource to have a template here when someone comes in, like an 80-year-old that can't go online.
Yep, absolutely.
And I respect this mayor who listened to him all the way through. He wasn't emotional. No, I'm sorry, not mayor, state's attorney. I respect the fact that he wasn't emotional. He listened to the argument and to the not just argument, but to the concerns and the comments. And he realized, yeah, an 80-year-old person, they not gonna be on TikTok. They ain't gonna have an Instagram. They don't want to conform to the new world. You dig? They want it to be the way it was. So I respect the state's attorney demeanor and his action. You dig? Like, we gotta stop just being goofy. Yeah, now it's definitely a camera in there, and that camera keeps them honest. As far as their work, but it doesn't keep them honest when another person comes with a camera. But it keeps them honest as far as what they got to do on that job.
I agree.
Anything to help that process, we want to be in compliance. So yeah.
I agree. And like I'd mentioned, there really should be, and that's up to the legislator, but they really should have put a paper form requirement in the law, because if you go over to the neighboring states and check out their open records,
Everybody trying to save money, man.
or in
Like,
Missouri.
for myself, like when I teach my kids, I gotta have some type of paper, but I could really be cheap and just do this one paper printout, and I'm good, and I can save hella money because I got electronics, I got iPad, you dig? But I still print out some stuff because some people because I know myself, I'm not an iPad reading person. I don't read from iPads. I read from books or paper. I print it out and I read. I don't like to read from electronics. That's just me. So I consider that when I teach kids. Like, some kids don't mind electronics, some do. So I have printouts as an option. I can easily save money and force these kids to read from the iPads. You dig?
It's Sunshine. In Iowa, it's open records. In Wisconsin, I forget what the heck it is. Wisconsin's the best state I've been to. I wasted 3 days' time up there. No joke. Went to the Capitol, went to every building in the Capitol. They are extremely well trained up there. But no, it's different everywhere you go. But you'll start to see, yeah, there's a paper form requirement. But you come down to Illinois, Illinois' FOIA is pretty beefy. As far as it's 27 pages, most of it's like 15, 20.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh, thanks.
it's kind of a pain.
Well,
We're
don't,
not
don't take
perfect.
offense to this, but we're hoping that we waste your time in the future.
Yeah, yeah. No. My viewers will absolutely love to hear that. And I try and tell people that if you watch my channel, you're gonna see a lot of angry cops or angry public officials. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's a very, very small percentage of the audits that I do because I got up at like 5:30 this morning to get ready. Okay. This is a real job. I mean, I'm my own boss, and I'm going to go to multiple other agencies in the day. And like, I just went to the city hall. The PD and city hall are together, right?
For the city of Virginia, yeah.
And then I went to the sheriff's office and then the courthouse, and
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Other than I do post offices as well, because they actually have federal law printed on the wall. And just to stress to you how bad the federal government is, they have flat out told every employee in the United States that works at a post office to leave the camera guys alone. Quite in plain English, leave them alone. Don't tell them to turn off the camera. Don't do this. They're allowed to record. They know what they're doing. Don't do it. And I still go to this has been going on years and years and years. I go to a post office. I'll find a postmaster that swears up and down that I'm violating federal law, and I will quite literally be standing right next to the federal law posted on the wall and point at it. They won't read it. The most popular video I currently have is Postmaster Pisses Off Cops.
Okay.
That's the name of the video, and don't ever mail anything to Chicago. And I will tell you that I walk around these buildings, guys. I walk around, I look at the employees, I see what they're doing. I'm telling you, they steal your stuff up there. And all of those federal employees up there, if you watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about. They're protected by a corrupt federal judge up there. She's racist. That's what I was told. She doesn't like white people, so she only wants black people to work at the post office. And she's quite open about it.
Hey,
So,
man.
with her close friends and
Sometimes
some
you
people
need
that
to
she
experience
believes are
black
her
racism.
friends, but I've caught
Yeah.
word of it, and
Finally
from my
get racism.
experience, I've traveled
Hey,
5 states.
listen, I'm speaking to white people in America. Sometimes you might need to experience black racism to understand racism, okay? Because they can never understand white racism, or they can never understand racism under white people control, right? So sometimes, yes, sir, you need to experience black racism to understand. So now to say, oh, okay, I get it. Now I know what you guys are talking about when you say racist or racism. Yes. So I'm not against black racism totally. I think there's a need for it. It's a wake-up pill for white people to understand racism, because they would never understand it unless they experience it. But if racism is colored white in America, then white people would never really experience it. So we need to colorize it as black so they can finally understand it. Okay? So when black people are racist to Jewish people already understand it. The average white American does not understand it. Okay? So they gotta experience black racism to understand white racism. So yes, that lady's there. You're right. She needs to be there so you white people can understand white racism in America. So I'm proud of her to educate you guys on what racism is. So when black people cry racism, you're not saying we pulling a race card any longer. You're saying, oh, this shit really exists. There's a person who can deprive another person a job or any opportunity just based off their race. You dig? Yeah, so that's important. So white folks, unfortunately, you need to experience black racism or black racism. Unfortunately, you need to experience it to understand racism in general. Sorry.
States now doing this.
It's your fault, because when racism was controlling the land, you guys were quiet. Okay? So because you guys were quiet, and I ain't talking about every last white person, but I'm saying the majority, because you were quiet on racism in America, you now got to experience it this way now. So I'm not against black racism. I'm actually for it because it's the only way white people can understand racism. Okay? So, sorry, guy.
Yeah, that's true because it's about 1 out of every 10 post offices I go to will make a mistake. Up in Chicago, it's 1 every other. And there's always a telltale.
And I got something for you before I log off. Won't you guys research? Won't you guys look at your libraries, not just in the town you're in. Look at that one too, of course. But this is my homework for you guys. Just Google your township library. I don't care if the town is majority black, majority Indian, majority Asian, majority, Middle Eastern. I guarantee you one thing. You're going to see the staff is going to be majority white or half white. And ask yourself, why is that? Why do libraries make the staff majority white or half white, even though the population is non-white? And then look up like politics and librarians. First of all, librarians make hella money, by the way. Yeah, y'all might think because it's boring that they on some they make as much as Walmart employees. That's a lie. Look up librarians, not just the main person. Look up just the staff, how much they make. These people make $30, $40, $50 an hour. You guys are fools to believe otherwise. You dig? So with that, I'm gonna blow my nose. My voice getting better. It's still a little suspect. It's getting better. But hopefully a brave black Hebrew Israelite. Because I don't want a Nation of Islam person on the channel. They're too easy. The black Hebrew Israelites are easy too, but they're a little more less easy than a Nation of Islam member. You dig? And a Black Panther or Black Rifle, those are the easiest. Those are straight clowns. So, like a Dr. Umar Johnson, please come on the platform and let's talk. Now, I agree with him. Like I just watched this video on Jerry Jones. I agree with him, but then he made it blackology. He started to connect dots. Listen, we got to stop connecting dots. Stop fucking connecting dots. Just deal with what you know. You know Jerry Jones in that video. That image, that picture, to deny Black Americans rights to a school, right? So you were against segregation. You were against integration. My fault. Jerry Jones was in that photo because he was against integration. So Umar, just speak on that, dude. Stop connecting your own fucking dots and come up with a conspiracy theory. Stop doing that because you weaken the argument against Jerry Jones. Stop it. You're a disservice to Black people. Just deal with the image and deal with what was going on at that time. They was integrating those Black boys into a school system of white people. And the people who showed up was against integration. And Jerry Jones was in that crowd. That's it, my boy. You ain't got to do much. You ain't got to do Dr. Umar research. Like, stop trying to make it about you, you piece of shit, nigga. Sorry for my language. But stop trying to make it about you. And just deal with the image. He was there to support and stop Black Americans from integrating into white society. Okay, that's why he was there, Umar. You clown, you stupid fool. Stop trying to connect dots. Let the experts connect dots. The experts usually got a team who helps them connect dots. You cannot connect dots as an individual, okay? You're a fool if you think so.
Tail sign there. There's a pattern that you'll pick out. So
Yeah, very good.
Anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you. We'll get this just the county clerk's email. I'll email it to you.
Yep, that'll work.
Very good.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank
You too. See ya.
Okay, so let me read the chat and then I gotta go. I'm gonna play some basketball. Play some basketball at 7 o'clock. I was playing ball this morning. I didn't really play. I did shoot around, but got some stuff to show y'all later. Why the hell they keep typing? I can't read the chat because they keep texting. Okay. I'm really not stressing. Believe me, business is growing, and I'm telling you, when people say what makes me happy, money makes me happy. Money. What makes me depressed? The lack of money. So business is growing, and I'm getting happier and happier and happier. Okay. So yeah, I'm more happy. But listen, this subject, I wanted to like really go over a different subject, but I can't remember the word on some goofy shit. But black people and people and just in general are sick and they don't understand certain things and they don't want to because they're selfish. I got a friend who I'm gonna go over this later on tonight. I got a friend who helped me out, helped me move stuff to storage. Good luck. Without that person, it took me double the time, triple the time, maybe quadruple the time. Good luck. But because you helped me out, that person has an agenda for me. It's like, dude, did you help me out genuinely? Or did you help me out so I could be a fucking slave to a favor you want from? Yeah, you want from me. You dig? So listen. If you're gonna do a favor for somebody, let it be genuine. Stop trying to look at, okay, I'm gonna do this favor and I'm gonna hold them to this weird favor for them, for me. Like, nah, they don't even do it then. Yo, how many times I help people push their car? How many times I park my car, get out, and I help them push the car? I don't have an agenda where I need them later to help me. Nah. It's the kindness of my heart. So I look at favors as a kindness of my heart. It's who I am. I don't do it just to make you do something, to control you, to do something that you're not really, look, okay, I helped you do something. All right, now help me raise these pit bulls, or help me, grow this fucking garden. It's like, dude, no, I don't do that. I don't grow gardens. So when you help people, do it because that's who you are as an individual. When I help people out, I don't look for, okay, he helped me, she helped me. So now when I do my YouTube live or now when I play basketball, I want them to rebound for me. No, that's not why I do things. Stop looking for something from the favor. The favor is really a one-off. Favors are one-offs. It's like, I helped you out. Okay, let's forget about it. It's not, I helped you out. So now remember that, because when I need you to help me, when I need you to help me, give me something. When I need you to help me buck the system, you'll be there for me. It's like, nah, that's not what a favor is, my boy. I think it'd be crazy. But I'm coming back on a little later, probably 9 o'clock. Peace. I'm out of here.